and then also give you a little bit more training to be ready for the actual competition. Okay? So welcome those of you that came just a couple minutes ago. So we're talking about the pitch competition. So application deadline, then the seminars happening in November. That month we're going to prepare you. There's another info session. You know, people want to also get a refresher on some of the things they're doing. Then your actual slides are not due until February 9. So 10 days before the semifinals, your slides are due. And then semifinals February 19, competition finals February 21st at the house. Any questions on that, on the timeline, the dates, the important dates I just mentioned? No? It's clear? All right. So who can participate in the pitch competition? Any student is welcome, open to all students, on campus, online, undergraduate, graduate. There's no restrictions in terms of your major or GPA. Also, previous participants and winners are allowed to apply again, but with the caveat that they have to be doing something different. Or there's a reason why they need additional funding. So they have to be building on top of what they already did. Right? If they have had no progress since last year, then we can't accept them to participate again for the same thing. They already got funding. So you can participate individually or as part of a team. And it's open to international students as well. One requirement, we do have one restriction, is only one application per person. So if you're part of a team, then you cannot apply, submit another application just for yourself. Right? So you have to choose one or the other. Either you are with a team applying, or you're doing it on your own. Okay. I was going to mention, in terms of how many of you here are international students? Okay. So for international students, if you do win an award, there's the tax issues that you have to deal with. So as an international student, for the university to give you the award, they have to take 30% of your award for taxes. So that can be a good chunk. Something that we try to encourage students doing is partner with someone who is not an international student, and they get the funds, but they're working with you, right? So it's a little bit of a workaround where the funds go to the non-international person or non-international student, or if you're partnering with a company, with a nonprofit, then you can ask for the funds to go directly to them. That way the taxes are not taken up front. Now keep in mind, if you are a domestic student or for anyone, you still have to pay taxes on any cash, any cash you receive. It's just that you do your usual taxes, at the end of the year, in March, April, and you report those funds, as part of your tax deduction, tax report. But you're not gonna have to pay 30% usually. As a student, you don't have a lot of income, so sometimes you don't have to pay much taxes, or maybe it's around 10–15%, right? So it's not closely as much as 30%. So again, the application, like I said, is due just the application October 20, and the slides by February 9 at midnight. Okay, so let me show you the application really quick. If you go to our website, andrews.edu/innovation, then you'll see several tabs there at the top. One for the pitch competition. If you click on that, you're gonna find some of the same important dates I just mentioned. But when it comes to deadline to apply, October 20, it says submit online. That's a link you can click, and that's the form you have to fill out. It's a super simple form. We just want to know name, email, some information about majors and all that. If you're an international student or not, we just want to know who is participating. So again, by October 20, all you have to do is submit that form, and you are done in terms of application until your slides are due. Okay. Now, in terms of the slides, even though you don't have to submit them now, but just to show you what we mean, there's a template that we have here already. So if you click on that link, there's a template with 9, if you count the title slide, 9 slides. And it's very simple. Problem or opportunity that you're solving, your solution. So when it comes to solution, that could be a product, that could be your business, your service, your nonprofit. You can have pictures, you can have videos, on the slide. You can just describe how it solves a problem. Again, think when you're thinking about creating your slides, you don't have to have all the information on every single slide. You're gonna be presenting to a group of judges, and they're not gonna have time to read everything, every bullet point you have there. So sometimes it's better just to have an image and then you're explaining it, rather than want to have all the information there, like 20 bullet points. There's a marketing strategy you have to talk about. Who's your customer, your market size, all those things. Revenue model, so how are you gonna make money essentially? A little bit of a forecast for the next 1 to 3 years. Again, revenue forecasts can be pretty rough. I mean, we just want to know that you at least looked at what is going to be your source of income, and if you plan on if that's going to grow or not. Then who's your competition? Who are your competitors? What other companies or nonprofits are doing similar things that you're doing? Traction and milestones. What have you done? What are the next steps you're going to take, and how are you going to use the funds if you do win some funds? Who's your team? Who are the members of your team? Who's your founder? Who's your technical person? Who else is helping you? If you don't have a team, if you're thinking, well, right now it's just me, you can put who you plan on finding to become part of your team. So maybe you're going to need a software engineer or a developer. Maybe you're going to need an accountant. You can put that as there. You can say, well, I'm going to look for these people in the future as members of my team. But right now you don't have it. Okay. And then the final slide is just a summary slide. Very important. How will your venture change the world? You have to say that on the final slide. You have to tell us, how will your venture change the world? Okay, what is the good that you're doing for society? What customers are you serving and why? And why should we invest essentially in this in your idea and your business? So again, these slides are not due until February 9th. Okay, I'm just giving you a glimpse. If you come to the other seminars we're gonna have, in November, we're gonna essentially go through some of the most difficult slides. The revenue model, the marketing strategy. We're gonna go through those and kind of help you understand that for your specific project. All right, so if you are not a business student, or if you never taken a class in any of those topics, we're gonna help you do that, understand how to do it, and prepare you. But you gotta make sure you attend, the seminars in November. They're the ones called Startup Launch Part 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and we'll announce those, so you stay tuned and make sure you send someone from your team, or if you're the only one, you come and learn more specifically about those topics. The revenue model, the competitive analysis, and all those things. Any questions so far? No? All right, so again, I'm on the website. I scroll down, competition format. You know, here is again, the application form and also the template for the slides. And it has pretty much the same information I mentioned. You know, your presentation can only be 9 slides long. So we don't want you to submit, 30 slides. It's only 9 slides. You can change things up, make it look pretty and all that, but make sure that you stick with the format that we have a little bit, the content that we're expecting for each slide. Yeah.
You haven't talked about this yet, so maybe you might talk about it in a second.
Mm-hmm.
But how much did the person do last year, and then how does that forward, or how much money?
How much money will they get?
Yeah, and how does it work, like, the funding structure?
Yeah, I'll get into that in a moment, yeah. Okay, so why should you participate? I think, the main reason is the funding, right, that you guys are looking for. So it's $30,000 in cash for the top 5 participants. So first place gets $10,000, second place gets $8,000, 6, 4, and 2. So the top 5 competitors get cash. And then we also do a $1,000 audience choice. So the 30,000 are distributed according to what the judges score you, right? And then we also have $1,000 extra for the audience to participate and select, which team to give $1,000 more. So that's our cash awards. There's also what is called the Social Innovation Award. Not everyone can apply to that, but usually from the Social Innovation Department, they give 2 grants, $5,000 grants for teams that are doing a social innovation project in Berrien County. And the process is the same. So you go through the same process with the pitch competition, and throughout that process, they select the 2 teams that they want to give $5,000 grants, in addition to any other awards you may win. Those are kind of separate, right? So you can get $10,000 first place, and on top of that, you can get $5,000 from the Social Innovation Award. But again, those are only for teams doing something related to social innovation in Berrien County. If that's not what you're doing, then you don't qualify for that award. But again, keep in mind that that award is a grant, so there's some other requirements you have to do to be able to receive that grant. So again, it's a double-edged sword. You have this extra $5,000, but you have to submit reports and those things. The $30,000 in cash, there's no reporting requirements for that. You get the cash, you go and do your plans. You run your business. The top 7 finalist teams, regardless of where they end up in the finals, they get 12 months of free business coaching. We set up a program for that this past summer, where there are coaches, entrepreneurs that are involved in different aspects, software and whatnot. And they meet with the student teams on a monthly basis, and they're getting coached in the process, just to make sure that any help that they need, that we're trying to find help. It's been a lot better. I think in previous years we just gave them the money, and I didn't see them again for 3-4 months. I had no idea what they were doing. This month, we have a platform. We are seeing their progress. There's one team that already received an investor that already received another grant from South Bend organization, and he already launched his app on Apple and looking to launch it on the Play Store. It's not Ed though. It's Julison, and he's been really active, and because everyone's been trying to help him, he's been really growing. Some of the other teams are also making progress, but probably not as far as he has.
What's his name?
His thing, Julison, he did the app for it's like a machine learning app where for learning English as a second language. So you can have conversations in real scenarios, like you're in a restaurant and you're talking with someone and you're learning English, so you're trying to have conversations.
It's a good news.
I'll try to remember. I mean, his company is called Prehtis, Prehtis, but I don't know if that's the same as the app. It's only, right now it's only available on the Apple Store. All right, so let's talk a little bit about how the process works. So if you submit an application and you submit your slides by February 9th, then everyone who submits their slides will get to participate in the semifinals. The semifinals take place February 19 on a Wednesday. They're here in Changchun, either in this room or in the Whirlpool room. There's going to be a group of judges, 3 or 4 judges, entrepreneurs from the region, faculty, and you're going to have 7 minutes to present, followed by 5 minutes of questions. Okay, so 7-minute presentation. Again, you have 9 slides, 7 minutes. There's going to be a big clock in front of you that's going to show you the time. And if you go over the time, you start losing points. So it's very important that you try to stick to those 7 minutes. Then there's 5 minutes of Q&A. The judges have also a clock, so they don't keep asking questions, you know, forever. And once you're done presenting, the judges will score you. And everyone who presents on the semifinals, we're gonna select the top 7 teams from that group of semifinalists. We're gonna select the top 7 to move on to the finals, which are on Friday, February 21st at the Howard. And it's the exact same format, 7-minute presentation, 5-minute Q&A, group of judges, same slides. You can tweak them if you want to, but I mean, essentially the same slides that you presented on the semifinals, you present again for the finals. And then at the Howard and the finals, you know, there's 7 teams. The top 5 get cash awards, you know, 10,000, 8, 6, 4, and 2,000. But all 7 get the 12 months of business coaching. So if you make it to the final, you're assured to get the 12-month of free business coaching, but you're not assured to get cash award. But the top 5 get some sort of cash award. Yeah, that's basically everything I said is on that slide. So for-profit and non-profit usually compete on the same category. So we don't have separate categories because we don't have that much funding to create different categories. But if you're a non-profit, you are still competing with any for-profit businesses. So I can tell you from last year, I think first place was first and second were for-profit business. Third place was a non-profit ministry. And then in previous years, 2 nonprofits won first place. So it's pretty competitive. We haven't really seen where only nonprofits win and for-profits don't, or the opposite. We have seen that they're both competing with each other. Something to keep in mind that you are competing against graduate students. And some of the seminary students are really good at pitching. They're pastors, and you know they're really good at pitching. So you gotta be ready to give a good pitch and good delivery of your project. Any questions on that? So let's talk about the scoring. So if you go back to the website where it says judging grounds, you know, it has the same information I just gave you, semifinal, finals. Then it has this link here called official rubric. So this rubric shows you how you get scored. And let me open that. A little slow. Okay. Zoom that in a little bit. Okay, so what you need to know is that the content of your slides is worth 80%. Okay, so content is 80 points out of 100. The content of your slides is worth 80%, and the delivery is worth 20%. So just 20 points out of 100. Okay, so it's more the delivery, how you presented your idea, your pitch is still worth something, 20%. But the content, how well do you explain what is your problem? Do you explain what's your solution? Do you talk about your marketing strategy, right? And below each one of them, there's some bullet points of what the judges are gonna look for under your marketing strategy. Do you talk about your revenue model? Again, what are the bullet points the judges are looking for? It's right there. Who's your competition? What's your current status? What's your team? And your summary slide at the end and world-changing impact. So that's worth 80 points. And you have 8 slides, so each slide is worth 10 points. So just think about it that way. Each slide you're preparing is worth 10 points for your total score. And then finally, for your delivery, we're just looking, are you engaging? You have good transition between your slides. And then the other aspect we're judging is good eye contact, or are you just reading notes? Do you speak clearly, easy to understand language? Okay? So if you're just standing here looking at your slides the whole time, you're gonna lose some points there in terms of good eye contact. If you're not very enthusiastic about your pitch, then judges kind of gonna note that too. Okay, so you have to be a little bit happy about what you're doing, right? If you're not, then it's kind of questionable why you did. Okay, any questions on the scoring? All right, so finally, if you want our help throughout the process, either questions, either share your slides and have other people look at them and give you feedback, anything throughout, we have this online community where you can have those type of conversations. We can all have those type of conversations. Previous pitch competition participants are on that online community. They also, post about their progress and that sort of thing. So if you're interested in just having, a community, having people to look at your idea, talk about it, of course you can always ask me, email me, but this provides the opportunity for more people to look at your idea and give you feedback on that. Okay? And finally, the website I mentioned, andres.edu/innovation, email, address, and you can also follow us on Instagram at Andres Innovation to stay updated about upcoming events, seminars, and all of that. So this is it in terms of the pitch competition information I wanted to share with you. Are there any other questions? Something I didn't explain clearly? Yes?
How do you gain access to the rubric?
To the rubric, you go to our website. Let me show you once again. So you go to our website, which is andrews.edu/innovation. If you click the pitch competition tab, scroll down, you can find the application form, the slide template, and the rubric. Right. Okay? There's some FAQs there also if you want to, if you have some questions that we didn't touch on, maybe there's an answer there for your question. Other questions? Okay. So how many of you are thinking of participating in the pitch competition this year? Raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. All right. The rest of you are thinking about it or co-curricular credit? Yeah? Are you thinking of like teaming up or you separate applications? Got that too. Separate? Okay. I know you guys there with the drone thing or with Professor Poblete, those two. Are you also with that team or not? Are you separate application? Okay, as well you in the back? Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You guys didn't raise your hand. And then you 4 raise your hand. It's just one application together, okay. So far I have 5 here collected. And I know at least 2 people who already submitted their application. So that's 7. Yes?
When do you have to submit it by?
October 20. You're thinking about it, okay? The worst that can happen is that you don't make it to the finals. And but I mean, think about it this way: the people who are here judging for the semifinals, many of them are entrepreneurs, they're investors. They can give you real feedback on your idea. Even if this is kind of the first time and you're like, well, I don't know if my idea is any good. Let's say you don't make it to the finals for some reason, you will receive feedback on your application, on your presentation during semifinals from professionals, right? One of the judges is Bob, Bob Jank, who's an investor in the region. And, he'll give you free feedback on your application. So just for that aspect is already valuable enough. Even if you don't, make it too far into the competition or get money, you're already having someone give you real feedback on your application. Yeah.
Yeah, this is kind of like a question, like a comment this.
Okay.
Typically, the trends that I've observed in the past pitch competitions is that people kind of struggle with the financial aspect of it. And that's something that's very, very important for the investors. So whether you guys make it to the finals or not, if you ever have questions or you need someone to take a look at it, I'm very willing to do that.
There you go. Yeah. So his name is Kato, if you don't know him. And he's a finance student here in the business school. So if you need help, someone to look at your finances, you mentioned he's available. Other faculty are probably willing to look at your finances too, or financials, I should say, and give you feedback on that. So yeah, don't try to do it all by yourself. I mean, there are people here who can help. Any other questions?